Hello, guys, and welcome back to the D's Don't Get Degrees podcast.
My name is Jessica.
And my name is Dominic.
And this is episode 15.
Episode 15. Let's go. We're back. Whoop.
Right. If you don't believe us, that's okay, but we're fully dressed in quinceañera dresses right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All out. We take pictures, but we don't have cameras on our phones. So.
Right. Well, that's not true. I've literally taken pictures of other things I brought up in the podcast.
It would have been great to have dressed up in 15 dresses.
We didn't think about it till just now.
I know, but I feel
also,
like...
I don't have a 15 dress. Cat's out of the bag.
You know, like bridal stores?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess you wouldn't know. But when you go in, I don't even know how I know. Mostly just TV.
You think it would have been cool to go to a bridal store?
Yeah,
try
they're all
on
really
dresses?
Big. Yeah.
Just take pictures.
The dresses are all big because they have to. They're like sample dresses, and then they
cool.
tailor them.
Oh,
so they put them on, and then they clip them along the back. So like, no matter what, you can go in and try dresses.
That'd be fun.
It would have been great if we had gone.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. All right, write this down. All right, the 1 year anniversary of our 15th episode. We're gonna do it. That'll be.
It'll be wedding dresses. Okay.
Yeah, 1 year anniversary of our 15th episode. We're gonna dress up in huge dresses because we should have did it this year, but we just kind of didn't really think about it.
Yeah,
I feel like that's gonna be a thing. I feel like that's gonna be a theme for whatever our next year is gonna 2019 is gonna be the year of dang, we should have did this, but you know
yeah okay,
because right now it's still just it's kind of we're just going kind of figuring things out as we go along, but next year when we're experienced podcasters experienced and
that's
seasoned.
Crazy, we're at 15. How many weeks are left of this year?
12, 13, something like that. Because I want to say, I think because there's 10 weeks left.
Yeah.
There's 10 weeks left until December 7th or 10.
Wow, I didn't think that's where that was going. I thought you were going to be like, well, there's there's 3 whole months, 3 times 4, 12 average.
I'm pretty sure there's 10
How do you know December 7th?
Because there's something I'm looking forward to so very much, with all my soul, looking forward to that releases on December 7th. And I want to say there's 10-ish, maybe 9, depending on, my math, but it's 9 or 10 weeks left. And I just kind of guesstimated from the end of from December 7th to the end of the year, that's another 3 weeks. So we're, let's say to be safe, 12 or 13 weeks left.
Yeah. So we'll have doubled what we have so far. Nearly.
Almost. Yeah. That's
we should be a lot more experienced by then.
Oh, for sure.
By 2019,
dude, I feel like if we listen to, it's not over yet, but I feel like if we went back and listened to this episode compared to episode 3,
yeah,
it's a monumental difference.
I hope so.
If not, then
I can't do it. I can't go back and listen to the early ones.
Yeah,
just
it's hard.
Because we're so wrong so often that it's almost did we even think before we open our mouths?
Nope. I remember it was so bad because early on, before we even started podcasting, that was one of the things we was before we talk about anything important, we're going to do some research. And we did.
I don't want to incriminate myself. I don't want any sound
right.
bites
We're
out there.
No, we want to sound
stupid. Yeah.
Stupid. No, and we did for anything important. Like when we talked about what was your YouTuber?
My TanaCon.
TanaCon, that was research. Yeah. And the DJ Khaled thing was pretty.
Yeah.
But
those were both things that we already were pretty interested in.
But other than that, anything else, which I guess isn't as important, but anything else, I don't know, how to create a podcast, we were very, very, very.
So just.
I'm just gonna say.
You know what though? I'm
gonna
cut us.
I'm
gonna cut us off here because. Once we get to 2019 episodes, we're gonna look back at this one, episode 15, you idiots. You guys are still so stupid. So I'm not gonna do that.
No, I feel like that's part of the creative fun. That's part of the creative process. I feel like every major creator has to be able to look back at their old stuff and laugh and just be like, oh well, I was young and dumb and kind of trash. My content was kind of trash. It's okay.
Okay. All right. So this is installment numero 2 from the Spoopy Spectacular Show.
I was gonna lead into it with the cool, segue thing. I guess I should have told you, but it's okay. How about we pretend you didn't say that, and I'm just gonna do the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the thing I was gonna do. Okay. So man, all right. So yeah, I was at work this week. Week number 2 of my new job. It's pretty cool. I'm digging it, but there are a lot of slow, dull moments, and I get really, really bored. So I go home and I was like, you know what? I need some Parks and Rec today. I need some Parks and Rec to make up for how boring of a day I had.
To cleanse the soul.
Yeah, to cleanse some soul. And it was cool. I went and I watched this one episode where Ron and Diane have some little like trust issue thing. Like Diane's jealous of Leslie, and like eventually Ron's like, okay, well, to show you that like we have a better bond than anybody else, he takes her to like the jazz club he always performs at as Duke Silver. It's a whole thing if you haven't seen Parks and Rec, but basically Ron's is super conservative. Nobody knows anything about me. I'm pretty mean, whatever type of character. And on the side, his alter ego is a jazz musician called Duke Silver, who like older ladies love for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But the whole point of this is he was there.
Well, he is an older man.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to. Anyways, he's there and he plays a Christmas song for no real reason. They don't even nowhere else in the show or the season do they reference it's Christmas time. But he plays that song. I can't remember exactly which one, but he plays like a Christmas song, and I'm like, oh snap. And I heard that, and I had this moment. I was like, oh, I can't wait till Christmas. But then I was like, you know what? It's not Christmas time yet. We still got to get through Halloween. Get through Halloween first. And Thanksgiving. Who cares? We got to get through Halloween, which means episode 2 of the Spoopy Spectacular Show.
All right.
Yep. I probably should have. I know. I probably should have told you where I was going with it first, but I just kind of. Do you want to? Just now.
I can take a pause and you can sing us.
Nope, I'm not falling for that again.
A little Mariah Carey.
Which one?
Her own. Well, actually, no. She put out a whole Christmas album, so
right.
You can take your pick. You just got to make sure those notes are high.
Just give me one.
Last Christmas? Did she sing that?
I don't know. I'm blanking on that song.
Okay.
How about we save that for the Spoopy Christmas Spectacular Show? That's going to be the name of it. Okay. The Spoopy Christmas Spectacular Show. It's going to be like the Spoopy Spectacular Show, but for Christmas. Anyway.
Who's Saint Nick?
Technically, that's Santa Claus.
Okay, so to keep like the SS, we could Spoopy Saint Nick
Spectacular Show.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I was kidding, but I actually like that a lot. I was joking.
Spoopy Saint Nick.
Every special we ever do with Spoopy.
That's such a great word. Such Spoopy. A great accent on a word.
No, but yeah. So to actually, in case for some reason this is anybody's like first time listening, or maybe you aren't super familiar, a couple weeks ago we started a little mini series on our show called the Spoopy Spectacular Show, where for a couple weeks in October and leading up to Halloween, since Halloween is our favorite time of year other than Christmas and favorite holiday, it's just fall and just feels good, we thought we would give each of these episodes a little bit of flair, a little bit of spice, a little bit of pumpkin spice, you know what I'm saying? So
it's just gingerbread. Pumpkin spice is just gingerbread.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Like go out and actually get anything pumpkin spice flavored and it's just gingerbread.
Oh, that's cool. Okay,
it's just like clove and like cinnamon.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, so
no pumpkin.
Pumpkins don't make spice.
Pumpkins are expensive, dude.
Pumpkins aren't spicy.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
But anyway, yeah. So that this episode's gonna have a little bit of extra pumpkin spice on there. I might talk about some spoopy stuff. You might even get a cool little audio jump scare. You won't.
No.
No?
I wouldn't do that to our audience. No.
Okay.
That's the worst. When you're listening to something, headphones in. Yeah. It's loud because maybe you're like driving or like running or some shit. No, it's not fun.
No, that's not fun. I was kidding. I wouldn't do that to the lovelies. I love you guys.
All right.
I'm kidding. I stole that from. I know. No, I stole that from this show I watch on YouTube. But anyways,
okay, so I had something I wanted to bring up for our episode numero 2.
Sure.
It's based in the real world, so we're jumping out of the hypothetical. Like we've been in the scary movie realm.
Yeah.
Creepy monsters.
Yep.
But like like urban legend realm. I have a question for you.
Sure.
And I have this pulled up, and I'll post it. It is a little weird. It's meant to be a little spoopy, so if you're nervous,
a little spoopy,
it's for the better.
I'm nervous because like this is legit like live reactions y'all gonna hear from me. Like I haven't seen this. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I saved
this for the actual podcast.
Yeah, so I have no idea when I'm sitting in front of the computer and I don't know what's about to pop up.
You might have already heard of it, but I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna post this picture.
Okay.
On our Twitter and our Instagram.
Nice.
At DS Degrees.
Yes.
Because I want you, the audience, to
be able to follow
along.
At DS Degrees.
Yes. So this was brought to my attention a few years ago. I don't know where, but I remember it like stuck.
Okay.
Even though I wasn't part of the group of people that fell into this community.
What is this? What the
but I wanted to okay, first let me preface this whole thing.
Yeah.
So are you aware of the idea, the theory, truly, because you can't really, okay, this is about dreams.
Oh, cool.
All right, you can't really prove anything with dreaming other than like we know certain things through science and shit, but like, okay, so there's this theory that you can't dream up a face.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, are you
super common? Oh. So everyone you've ever seen in a dream is someone you've seen somehow in real life, even if not
absolutely.
someone you know, but like someone.
No, I've heard that for sure, and it's kind of freaked me out a couple times for sure.
Right, because it's like even the scary faces.
Like I have to have, but the thing about that always kind of that makes me feel like whatever is that it's probably somebody I ain't seen in passing. If I don't recognize them, I had to have seen them in passing.
What makes me like feel better is thinking, okay, well that could be someone I've seen in a movie.
Yeah, that
like,
too.
Like an extra in a movie.
Right.
So it's not that the craziest.
But also the jobs we've had. We like think about it at Target, Walmart, Nordstrom, whatever. We run across like at least 150 people a day sometimes. Like just so faces flash by. You don't remember all of them. It could be it could literally be anybody. Right. Sure.
Okay.
Where are we going?
So. I think I was in high school when I found this. It's probably on Tumblr or some trashy website.
I think I know where you're going with it, but I'm waiting to see.
Stop. Okay. So it started with a therapist who had a patient come in and talked about some dreams, specifically about a man that visited him repeatedly in these dreams. And she had him draw out the face, like scribble, like a quick little sketch.
Yeah.
And later she had a different patient who paused when he saw like the drawing on her desk and was like, yo, I know that man. He shows up in my dreams.
Okay.
And this led to a whole community online of people who have reported the same man and all have like individual sketches, variations, but it's all clearly the same dude.
Like same features, clearly, same type of like hair and nose, eyes, whatever.
And their dream. And it's called, like the website is thisman.org if you really wanted to go in and like read about it. But it's just the question like, have you ever dreamed of this man? Have you seen this man?
That is super weird because it's like how would all those people have seen the same?
And it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people out there. So have you seen this man?
Me, I'm not gonna lie to the American public and some of the other people we have listening. I have seen this man, but not in my dreams because I know this theory. Yeah, I've seen him before on like the Have You Seen This Man? But the picture I'm looking at right now looks a little different. Like I remember him looking a bit creepier than that.
Yeah, there's a couple of different sketches.
I remember him looking like a lot creepier than that. Actually, that's not that big a deal. This is like the main
one that. So he's just this kind of like receding hairline dude. Very thin lips, but kind of like a wide mouth.
Huge,
round
thick,
nose. Yeah, the eyebrows are the most prominent.
Thicker than.
He's got like the droopy eyelids.
Yeah, it's a little like
makes his
not
eyes
even trying to be
sad.
rude, but like a little caveman-y looking.
Yeah, kind of like a really pronounced brow bone.
Yeah.
And really, really thick lashes. Which drawing have you seen that like freaked you out?
Go up some. It was more similar to. No, go down. I think it was kind of close to maybe like either that one or that. No, not that one. I've never seen that. It's none from this website. It's weird. I've seen some that are just
the
like
official one. So
yeah, no, for sure. But I've seen some. Okay, I've seen some that are just I don't know. They like,
no, there's a ton. There's a ton. Yeah. And then I remember there were like flyers at one point when it like popped off.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen this man posted in different
Did
areas?
they ever like solve the mystery of why like
no.
everybody's seen because he did because
so
it's weird
there's been theories like his face is pretty generic.
Yeah.
Although
he looks similar to like if I had to pick someone like let's say we would go with the theory that he's just a celebrity that somebody's like dreaming differently, right? Like
who do you think he looks like?
He looks and this is kind of fucked up, but he looks a little bit like Lou Ferrigno, just slightly.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, you gotta look up Lou Ferrigno. He's he played the original Incredible Hulk, like the Incredible Hulk, like the old one. It's not a movie, the TV show, like the like super, like from the 70s or 80s. Like it's an old TV show where they had like a guy who's just Lou Ferrigno is just a super swole bodybuilder, and they got him to play the Incredible Hulk in the first ever like live action interpretation of him. You gotta look him up. Anybody who knows who Lou Ferrigno is, they know what I'm talking about. You see it, but it's just because Lou Ferrigno also has like kind of thick eyebrows and like a thick like brow bone, and it's similar. But other than that, not a lot. But if I just had to pick someone,
so there are theories that are like not just it's an actor,
right,
or like a face that the most people would have seen. Have you read any of these?
No, I never.
So the religious theory is probably the funniest to me.
Okay.
The idea is that the man is God.
Oh.
It's how people would see him today.
How does that? So does that only apply if you believe in God, or like have only like Christians reported?
A lot of people who claim to have seen him say that when they interact with him in the dreams, he always, whatever he says to them is like really profound.
Really?
Like it stays with them. Like he'll either give advice.
Or that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I can understand that. The religious theory. Dream surfer theory is my favorite.
All right. What is it?
I'm reading it straight off the website. The most interesting theory and the one that has the greatest implications, but also has the lowest scientific credibility. All right, shading me.
there's not a whole lot of scientific credibility to.
All right. According to this theory, this man is a real person who can enter people's dreams by means of specific psychological skills.
Oh, that's creepy.
Some believe that in real life, this man looks like the man in the dreams. Others think that the man in the dreams looks completely different from his real life counterpart. Some people seem to believe that behind this man, there is a mental conditioning plan developed by a major corporation.
Oh,
that's my favorite one because
that actually that I'm not gonna say that's it, but I mean the tinfoil part of me is like, no, that's probably it.
Yeah, that's it. He's a surfer.
No, absolutely.
He's a dream surfer. He's like
created by the government.
You know?
Where SpongeBob just hops from dream to dream. Yeah, absolutely.
It's literally that.
But the government does it but why though? Why do you think they want to?
I don't know.
Is it
okay? So the reason I thought of this and why it's fresh on my mind is because I have been having a lot of nightmares recently.
Aww.
I don't know where it comes from, or what's causing them.
Yeah.
I have a theory. I have a theory as to why it's happening. I think I'm in the point in the semester where it feels very like hectic. Like I can't quite see the finish line yet. Like, I still got a little too far to go before I'm done.
Oh, no.
And it feels like a little. That's okay. I recognize it, and I guess that's the biggest thing. But I haven't been getting enough sleep. And when I don't get enough sleep and still have to do things, what I typically do is I'll like nap. So I'll do like 2 hours and then wake up and study, maybe drive around so I can earn a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And then come back home, sleep another 2 hours, go to the gym, maybe sleep another hour, go to class.
Instead of any like long sustained sleep, you just like fit it in where you can when you have time during the day. Yeah.
My issue with longer sleeps, and I know that it's important to like, once you hit X amount of hours, you get into your REM sleep and that's like truly resting. But my problem is that I'm a really heavy sleeper. So when I do get past like 4 hours, getting back up is so difficult for me.
Yeah.
It's like I'll sleep straight through an alarm. My mom has come like knocking on my door saying like your alarm's been ringing for like half an hour.
Aww.
And I'm like, okay.
I used to have a roommate like that, but he was like worse about it. He was so bad. Like my first year roommate in college was like, he was just obnoxious about it though. Like I think he was the type to like stay out all night and get drunk or high or whatever and come out in 3 a.m. and be like, I'm not waking up. And everybody else in the dorm has to hear his alarm for like an hour before I finally get up. And I'm like, you know what? F it. And eventually I just start turning it off like immediately and be like, fuck you, bro. Like get up or don't. Yeah.
I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. So I resort to like sleeping very like few hours.
So that you're not whenever I get...
So that I'm not like dead and I don't have to take anything because I don't like taking like any energy drinks or like I don't drink coffee or anything like that. So
it's not, I don't like that either. Like the feeling of like caffeine or sugar or something having to keep you going. It's like this isn't like you could just feel as soon as it kicks in, you're like, this isn't sustainable. Like this is.
I'd rather just nap for an hour every now and again. But my problem when I do that is that there will be moments where I'm maybe like sitting down, like eating, or I'm sitting down on my couch, kind of like trying to like, debate like, do I nap for a little bit or do I get stuff done? And I have this weird moment of like, it feels like I'm already dream, like I'm already about to fall asleep.
Oh, I know exactly.
But I'm still awake.
I know exactly what you're. Yeah,
and I have an issue where like maybe my eyes close for a few minutes, and I'll start dreaming or I'll start having like images, and they're like they're in my surroundings.
They like
Does that
mix
make
in
sense?
with your dreams kind of mix in with reality, and like if you're, depending on how tired you are, it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah,
that's happened to me before. Yeah, it usually, I mean, sometimes it's kind of, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's kind of cool, sometimes it's like, oh, like, but then sometimes it's like, dang, this is kind of scary. Like, I don't know what it, and for some reason those dreams are the most erratic for me. Like like when I'm running on like no sleep and I'm like falling asleep somewhere, but I'm like trying, usually it happens when I'm falling asleep, but I'm also trying so hard to keep myself awake. So I'll like nod off and dream for like a minute or two. Then I'll feel someone like, it feels like somebody's looking at me, or like I can hear somebody looking or laughing or something, and I like jump back up, but then I'll like fall back asleep. And when I'm asleep, my eyes aren't like fully closed or something. I know where I'm still aware of the outside world, what's happening. I can still hear people outside, but I also am still having dreams. Like it's almost like if you think of the dream world as like a separate plane from the real world, you're somewhere between. Like you haven't really like crossed over. You're just standing in the doorway between both.
Speaking of doorway, so a nightmare I had today was I was laying in my, so I got some of my homework done this morning, and then around like 6 I went to the gym to beat traffic there or whatever. Like to save myself the 5 minutes I would have sat in traffic. And then I came back from the gym and I took a shower, and then I laid in bed for like a second just debating like, do I get in another hour or two of sleep, or do I just finish off my homework and then get ready to go to school? Yeah. And in that moment, and I wasn't laying down in my bed, I was like sitting up, like propped up by the pillows. And I imagined, because at this point I'm home alone, like no one's in the house, and I have most of the lights on because it wasn't dark out, but it was like whatever. And I imagined someone coming around the corner of like my door frame and just like peeking their head in. I know, that's so scary. And it this freaked guy? Me out. No, it wasn't this guy. I wish that would have been great.
No, that would have been so creepy. I don't want to see him in my dreams.
I would have asked for his advice, like, "Yo, dude, do I nap or what?" Yeah, and then because I was sitting up in a position where I was facing the door. And then I guess I dreamed that. Yeah. When I opened my eyes, I expected there to be like someone just standing there. That happened. And when there wasn't, I was like, and I got up and like checked, and I got really paranoid. I was like, Mom, Dad, like, is anybody here? No one was. But yeah, that's been me. It feels like my brain's like, all right, it's spoopy time, bitch.
I mean, about to get spoopy. For you, it sounds like you're similar to me. Like the bad dreams in general for me really come along a lot more when I'm like super stressed or super anxious, or just like definitely not getting enough sleep. Yeah. Like lately I've been getting I have to get up really early for like the job. So I've been like forcing myself to go to bed on time, because I'm like, man, I'm not about to be the guy who like his first week can't get to work on time. Like that's trash. Right. Yeah. So I've been going to bed earlier, getting at least like 6 or 7 hours of sleep, which isn't ideal, but hey, you know, I take what I can get. Cause 8 is asking a lot. So I take 6 or 7, and it's been a bit more pleasant. It's been nice. Yeah. My dreams have been, I had one the other day that was so weird. And this I realize this isn't super like spoopy anymore, but we're talking about dreams. I had a dream where, it almost feels weird to say. For some reason, I was at a party. I think I was maybe thinking about the Halloween party or something. Like, I don't know, but I was at a party, and I had a dream that for some reason I was with a group of friends, and we were all just like, we were already drinking, and somebody had the bright idea, let's just put cocaine in our drinks. And we just did. And we just in it. Like that's how you can, And we just ingested it and consumed it. Yeah. But we were only drinking it, and like, you know, we maybe had like a cup and a half. We didn't get to finish because someone's like parent came up and I'm the one who got everybody caught, because everybody else like had their cups like in their laps, like really like hidden, you know, like you can't see what's in it. And I'm the dummy who needed a break and just set it on the table, and you can see the obvious like white powder on top of the like drink. And it's just like, you idiot. And so whoever's mom was took up all our drinks, and I was the party and I felt bad. I was like, oh wow. Yeah, no, it was super fun. I remember being really sad, like, I want my drink back. Like,
I want my Coke back.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
I know. What a shame.
That's been me with my with my spoopiness.
It's cool. You know, hopefully you'll get more rest coming up soon, and
yeah, I think it's just time management, but it's hard. Like some things are hard to plan around.
For sure. Like I mean, you never know things. You never know what's really gonna hit you. You can plan for like, okay, I'm gonna get a good night's, and then it's like, oh, like I forgot I had homework due in a couple days.
Also, I'm pretty strict on my budget. Like, I know how much I need to make per week to pay my bills and stuff.
Yeah.
I just completely blanked on my Amazon yearly membership.
Oh yeah.
And it just instantly charged my card.
When did it hit you?
Today? No, to yesterday.
I need to check and see because
I knew it was in October, but
mine's either October or November. I don't remember, and I'm gonna look, and it's gonna hit me, and I'm gonna cry.
Dude, they've gone up. You know how it used to be? What, like 90 something?
It's like 100 and some change.
It's like 120 something now. 126.
Honestly, if I look back at my purchases over the last year, it's bad. But I think I've bought stuff maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the whole. Like the last time I remember buying something was like. I bought like a new tablet for my grandma like a couple weeks ago. Before that, I don't know if I bought anything all summer, honestly. Like
my issue with it is
don't buy a lot anymore. So I'm like, maybe I don't need it.
I do buy a lot from Amazon. I buy a lot on behalf of my parents. Like my dad gets his like testing like blood strips or whatever from Amazon, and my mom gets like a fuck ton of shit from there. Like she'll just ask me like, oh, can you look it up? How much is it on Amazon? And she never compares it to like in-store prices. She's just like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds okay. And I order it for her. She'll pay me for like the stuff she orders, but I don't have the heart to be like, dude, can we go halfsies on the membership? Because the reason you're getting free 2-day shipping is because I'm paying $100 and something a year.
I thought about it recently because I was like, dude, this is like a lot. Like this is a lot of money I'm paying for. And I don't use it mostly throughout the year. But the problem is I use it a few very specific times.
Yeah.
Like I'll use it for at least half of the birthdays throughout the year, right? Like the very, very important birthdays, I definitely use it. I use it Christmas time. Last year, I literally got my Halloween costume from there. Like, it's a few specific times of the year that I guarantee
I'll miss it when I stop.
Yeah, so like I can't imagine like, oh man, I gotta actually go to the store for every Christmas gift. Either that or wait the fucking 2 weeks or whatever it takes normally. Like, no, that's gonna suck.
And I also have the same issue with my mom when it comes to Hulu, because I love Hulu. There's a lot of shows on there that I really, really like. But what I'll do is I'll catch up on all the shows and then suspend my membership.
Oh, okay.
So you can do that. Smart, you can put it off, and I'll put it off for as long as I can before I'm like, all right, I need some more Broad City.
That's smart.
And I'll like whatever. But she's been watching Lost from the beginning. Yeah. So I haven't been able to pause my membership. Even though it was paused when she started watching it, she straight up asked me, why can't I log on to Hulu? And I was like, I didn't have the heart to tell her, like, I don't have any money.
Yeah.
So instead I just...
you just paid it.
I just paid it, and now she's watching Lost. But I don't know. I'm like, at what cost, mama? Like, I love you, but at what cost?
$7.99 a month. That's for limited commercials.
No, she doesn't like commercials.
She had $11.99.
Yeah.
You know what?
So I used to pay like the most basic one, and when she told me like, oh, why do you pay, if you pay already, why does it have commercials? Because Netflix is like, and I had to explain like, well, they have levels, and she's like, well, how much is it for no commercials? And I told her, and she's like, oh, I'll just give you that, like if it's because it's not much, right?
It's like a $4 difference maybe,
right?
Like
she's like, honey, if you really need those $4, like I'll give you those $4. Sure. And I was like, you know what, you're right, like I don't need those $4. It's okay. I'll but now it's like, bruh, you got me paying like extra month. Level of membership that I don't need. I'll sit through those commercials. But
that's the same thing. Like I'm on a limited commercial right now because I used to pay for it because me and my mom both used it like a lot. Where she started off paying for it and I was on hers. Then for a while I was like, you know what, I got it, and I paid for it for a couple months. But I forgot she's into also like no commercials. So like the first month or two I forgot about it, and I looked at the bill and I was like, dude, I'm paying like how much for Hulu? Then I was like, oh, it's commercial free, like it's clear. And I was like, you know what? And then we talked about it, and I tried to offer like, I'll keep paying for it, but we just go to limited commercials.
Yeah.
Nope, no dice, no way, no how, nuh-uh. So now she's paying for her unlimited, and I have my own account with my limited. I know it sounds petty. It's not I tried to be reasonable, but she wouldn't, and I literally just didn't have the money no more. I was like, I can't do this every month. Like
those $4, dude. So now I'm like, out on my ass because it's like I didn't expect $100 and something to get withdrawn.
Yeah, no, that's
which is okay. It just means I got to put in more hours this week.
But that sucks.
Driving.
Like
I know it does.
And the same thing. I think another reason I considered like dropping Amazon was because that happens to me it's happened to me
every
at
single
least
year.
the last 2 or 3 years in a row. Like without it, like it hits on a random day later in the end of the year when I need my money the most. And I never write down the day or the month or whatever, and it hurts.
This charge, right, covers me for all of next year, right?
Yeah.
So my issue is always that once it hits, I'm like, well, they already I don't want to go through the trouble of like asking for that money back and canceling it. So then I just sit there for a year, right, and like make my usual Amazon purchases. And then when it hits again in October, I'm like, damn it, I was supposed to cancel it. Yeah. They know what they're about. That company's worth $1 trillion now.
I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna have a serious like sit down talk with myself probably soon if it already hasn't hit me, because I know mine's also sometime in the, like later in the year, like has to be October or November. So I'm gonna have a sit down talk and be like, all right, dude, this year if we pay for it, we are going to go out of our way to like make it worthwhile. Because I feel like this past year, like I said, aside from special occasions, which it came in super handy, I didn't use it, and I just was okay with, like, I lived without it. I was like, you know what, it's not and it wasn't even like on purpose, like, oh, I'm not gonna buy from Amazon. It didn't come up. It just wasn't a big deal. Like, I don't know. And I mean, part of that is like I just wasn't as big on shopping and stuff this year in general, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to look and see.
I went to Ross a few days ago. I don't know why I just thought of that, but Ross gets slept on, dude. I found like some great. I was just looking for sweatpants because I've been working out a lot more lately, and leggings are cool and everything.
But they're pricey?
No, I have a lot of leggings.
Okay.
But sometimes I feel uncomfortable, and like I don't know how to describe it, but sometimes it's like I just want to wear sweatpants and like a sweatshirt. Like I don't want to go in leggings. It feels too. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't feel like going to the gym in leggings. You don't like being like you're gonna be looked at. You're gonna draw more attention, or is it more? No, it's just personal like comfort. Like they don't
like literally it doesn't feel as comfortable.
Yeah.
No, I think I get the feeling.
I don't know why. I get that. Maybe it's on days when I'm like not feeling my best or I'm feeling a little chubby, because you can't really hide anything in leggings.
Right. It is what it is.
So I went to buy sweatpants, and I got like 2 sweatpants for like $8 each, and they're great. One's like polo, and I was like, what the fuck? Okay. All right, Ross.
My ex actually was like a big Ross like shopper, like a big like she took me a couple times, and like I was with her, and it was actually kind of cute because she was like, she's used to, I guess, dating douchey guys who are like, man, I don't want to be here, let's go, like, come on.
No,
like,
Ross is great. I just always went to what's the other one?
TJ Maxx.
I always went to TJ Maxx because they have more home decor, and I like browsing that shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how. Like, I went to TJ Maxx after thinking, oh, maybe I'll find something good there. No, all the sweatpants were like $15-$20, which is still great compared to like going to Academy or whatever.
I felt bad when I was dating my ex because it made me realize, like, without even knowing it, how like bougie I am.
Yeah.
Like, I'll literally not go shopping for like 3 or 4 months until
terrible. I can.
It's true. Yeah. Like, I'll not go shopping every like 3 or 4 months at a time until I save up a good amount of money just so I can go to the mall and actually get like whatever I want from whatever like big name whatever store, and it's like, no, dude, I could be going to like Ross, TJ Maxx, a thrift, like any little whatever store, like Walmart, like whatever. I can go to a regular store, even Target, and get like decent clothes and get it more often, like, so because right now I don't have like, I have more clothes than I used to, but I don't have like as much as I want, and it's because I'm bougie and I gotta get it from certain places.
Not fix, but I'm trying to like rotate my closet out. I feel like I have a lot of clothing in there that I just once upon a time used to wear, and now I don't, and I keep it there because I'm like, no, it still fits and it's still cute, but I no longer like reach for it ever.
I already know. Let me tell you what's about to happen to me. The same thing that happens to me every time we even get a slight, small, cool breeze here in Houston for the fall. In case anybody doesn't live here, Houston's hot as heck all year round. Ain't no season, bitch. It's done. It's just hot.
Yeah.
If the only other season we got is hurricane season, so it's hurricane season and it's hot. Like, that's it, right? Okay. We're coming towards the end of hurricane season. Hopefully things continue to go without a hitch. And every year the weather people come on like, oh, we're gonna get kind of a cool front, and I cross my fingers and I hope
cold front, just
cool
a cool
front. But that cool front is enough for me to waste money every year on like, so whatever fancy expensive store I want, and get like a super nice cardigan and a sweater. Some years I get scarves, like just dumb like winter shit, and it's like, boy, you know you don't like it's that. And every year without fail I get to wear it twice if I'm lucky, twice. And
I've
it's
been
like,
focused on getting more like versatile pieces.
Okay.
And just being honest with myself. Like even today I went on and tried on some stuff and I was like,
I'm not gonna wear this.
Yeah, like I looked at myself and I was like, this is cute, but when am I ever?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's only $8, but when? Like,
right.
If I can think of a situation, okay, maybe I'll like think it through. But no, most of the stuff is like, no, I'll never wear this. I
try and go for more like, so the way I try and shop, right, is as far as shirts and stuff goes, I'm kind of spur of the moment. Like if I see a shirt, I get it, right? And that's just throughout the year. Yeah. Shirts and pants and stuff, whatever. But the things I like aim for, like, oh, okay, I'm going shopping for, is like pieces I think that can, I guess you call them versatile, that you can wear with a lot of different things, right? Like I'm getting more into cardigans, but thin cardigans. This year I'm gonna get something that's not so thick. That's just like, okay, he can wear that, even during the day, and he's not gonna burn up like in 100 degrees, right? Or not necessarily sweaters, but like sometimes hoodies, or like certain pieces that can go with a lot of different things, right? So that's what I'm gonna try for this year. But we'll see, because I don't have as much money as I usually do around this time of year. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to go for it, though. We will see if I... But it just makes me feel good. If to me, winter doesn't feel complete if I don't get at least one cool, like, new winter outfit. And again, I'm bougie and spoiled as heck for someone who never has money, but it's true.
Priscilla the other day sent me a meme.
Priscilla.
Hey, Priscilla. Oh, my God. I blanked on her birthday. I'm so sorry. I meant to call her today. To wish her happy birthday. I'll call her today, or I'll call her tomorrow. I don't want to wait. Well, whatever. But
I'm just gonna send her a text when we're done with this.
No, I wanted to call her. She sent me a meme that was like, oh, one of my greatest character flaws is thinking I need a new outfit for every occasion. I'm like, yeah, same.
I'm terrible about that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm the typical guy when it comes to it. Like, and it's just a thing with like, that's just like they say girls just shop in general, just to have things in their closet even when they might not need it, right? And that's a supposed thing, whatever. And guys only shop when they're going somewhere, like and it's supposed to be like, oh, more practical, but it's also like more stressful because you go in at the last second to like, and it's true. Every time I'm doing anything specific, I'm like, okay, I need a new outfit for this. I need to go and buy, like last time we went on spring break, I don't think I wore a single thing that I already had in my closet. I went and bought all new shit for no real reason.
I like getting dressed and taking tags off of clothes.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna wear this out the store. Like, even here, just ring it up, for sure. So I don't know. Maybe if the checks come in, they're looking nice this year, I'll actually stock up on some nice things. We'll see that I can wear twice.
Yeah. You brought up a topic, and looking at it now, I think it'd be great to split it up into two.
Like two topics or two parts?
Like two-parters. Two parts.
What do you mean? Like this episode and another one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, explain. Okay. What do you mean?
So you brought up the idea of, and this is a common thing, like, like a letter to your future self or a letter to your past self.
Right.
With a twist. Your idea being like, obviously a letter to our past selves, but then a letter from our hypothetical future selves to our present selves.
Right now, yeah.
That letter, I want to put on hold because I genuinely want to write stuff down.
Oh, that's cute.
I'm not sure.
That's cute.
I don't want to ramble and mess it up.
No, that's smart. That's smart. Genius.
We debated for a little bit. Well, we didn't debate, but we discussed like how you plan backwards.
Yeah.
Like 10-year plans or 20-year. This would be technically a 15-year plan.
Very bad at it. But, okay. So today you just wanted to do...
I want to do a letter to our past selves.
Okay. I came up with the idea and I still didn't prepare for it. I literally, this kind of just a little glimpse at my thinking process, people. Like, I literally sat down.
Yeah.
Well, when I was bored at work and was like thinking about ideas for the podcast, and I was like, that'd be a cool thing. And I wrote both those ideas now, right? Both those ideas down, but I didn't bother to think at least even a second about what I would actually say.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, these are cool, and I was done.
Do you want me to go then?
Sure, you go, and then
So this is my big point.
Right.
All right. So we said we'd be talking. I'm 23 right now.
I'm 24.
I just thought
I know. I'm just.
I didn't
kidding.
ask for the attitude, but okay. I thought it'd be great to write to our 13-year-old selves.
That's cute.
Or your 14-year-old self or whatever.
No, I'll do 13.
This puts us like 8th grade, right before 9th grade, which is the first year of high school. Right?
Yep. Yeah. Just young, adolescent, teenager, whatever. All right. What you got?
So I wanted to take this in points so we can bounce back, right?
Yeah. We'll do points just back and forth now. And then you want to do it next week? Next week we'll do like an actual letter, dear whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So my first point, and this I don't want anyone to think this is like too serious, but if we have any 13-year-olds listening, or if
oh yeah, I forgot we might for some that's not the target audience, but for some reason if
and this is still advice that whatever, I just wish I had, this is still advice I practiced today, but I wish I had learned it at the age of 13, which is the relationship that you develop with your body and food.
Aww.
You can't make it too complicated. Aww. I wish I would have learned that at 13, because oh boy, is that a troublesome thing now as an adult. Yeah, kind of. I think it is for a lot of people. Like, especially I'm in the boat of like my weight fluctuates. And then I have a really hard time like coming to terms with it, if that makes any sense. And that started like preteen age. Yeah, makes sense. Which is normal. That's terrible to say, but it kind of is.
I mean, yeah, when you're preteen, teenager years, like you're starting to barely grow into your body, whatever it is going to be, and it's a lot of times it's like it's off-putting. You don't expect it, and then you're like, oh, I'm like, it's kind of hard to come to terms with it.
Yeah. I had an accident when I was 13. No, when I was 12. Wow. Yeah, I was 12 because it was still like green shirt Shotwell, which is 7th grade. 12, 13. Where I passed out just from not eating, and I ended up burning my arm. Not that bad. The scarring isn't that bad anymore. But I remember at the time being like, well, it's not that crazy, right? Because like I'm not eating enough, so this is like a normal thing to have happened, like a normal effect to like.
But now that you're like grown,
now as an adult, it's like that was wild, and why did no one sit me out to tell me? Like,
like, hey, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. And not even. Now I can say that I wish someone had been like, this isn't cool, but just someone to have been like, maybe like control it now so that in the future it's not as hectic. Right.
Yeah, because you want to. I feel like what you're describing is a hard balance between like just eating everything and eating nothing.
Yeah. And not understanding that like it's okay to do both. It's okay to like to want to be super healthy and like clean eating and to want to track your calories like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, I think it gets a bad rep because people abuse it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
People will abuse calorie counting, but it's like there's nothing wrong with wanting to make sure you're getting enough nourishment. You're getting enough of like
you're using it for truly healthy reasons, and not like. And when I say truly healthy, I guess what I mean is like not necessarily all like ignore aesthetics or looks, literally just like health wise, like it's fine.
Which now is difficult because now it's like I'm 23 and now I'm looking at my family history that's so like, oh boy, there's like, you can relate.
Yeah, it's like for sure. I've been putting off going to the doctor literally because I'm putting off the chance for them to be like, so you're gonna die in 2 years, like
you're on the path to death.
It's like, well,
yeah. I just wish I had like more self-love for my body and for the food that I was putting into it.
Okay. Mine's kind of related, but it's weird because I didn't have a problem with this in middle school. Not that I remember. Not really. Like, it didn't really become an issue until, I don't know where, until high school. But I'll tell 13-year-old me this. So maybe he, like, hears it from a wise future stranger and just kind of, like, keeps it and remembers it. And when it happens to him in high school, he's like, oh, that one weird guy told me this, and I'm going to remember, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm about to change the course of history. Here we go. Like, this conversation's really happening. All right, 13-year-old Dominic, listen, all right? There's going to be a point where you question who you are, and not in like a existential crisis thing or whatever. Like that happens too, but that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, like not just that. I mean, like in the very generic cliche teenagery, like trying to find who I am, right? Like the hopping, like like the going from lunch table to lunch table, a different lunch table every day, hanging out with different people every day because you don't really know who like your, not who your real friend, kind of who your real friends like you. It was a weird, I had a very weird like high school experience, and honestly I'm not even gonna say it stopped in high school. Like even by, I don't think I really felt like super comfortable in my own skin until I was like, I'm gonna say 22, 23.
I'm gonna say 23.
Literally 22 or 23, because like there are even moments in college where like I think back on it and I cringe how like I tried, because there were some moments where I tried really hard to be like a certain way because I was like, this is me, like this is my you know, I thought I found it, and then like soon after I was like, no, that's not it, like, you know. And so basically, 13-year-old you, like, don't try so hard to find who you are. Like, you know, like that identity crisis you're gonna go through, just kind of let it happen. Just like, you know, whatever. Like, go out, live on a whim, if anything. Like, just like whatever you feel in that day, just do it. You know, don't try so hard to like fit into one group or the other, or because like literally, I think freshman year was the worst because I was like, I think freshman year of high school was the first time I felt depression and really didn't like know what it was. Mm-hmm. But that's definitely going back to probably the first time I was ever depressed, because I remember legit just being like sad as hell every day and not really having like any, like I felt super alone and just like, and it was all revolving around the idea. I don't know where, I don't really know how it happened, because middle school I felt fine. I was friends with I felt like I was friends with everybody. Everything was cool. Like, and then high school, it just ate shit. Ninth grade, I don't know. I was just super sad, and I didn't really know what was, like, I didn't know where to go or like what to do, who I should and shouldn't be hanging around. You know, like it was just a weird, and it's all teenagery stuff, but it's real. So I don't know. I was not comfortable in my own skin ninth grade. It got a little better as high school went on, but it resurfaced again pretty bad later in college, later in life, you know. And I feel like some of my relationships actually like took a nosedive because of it. Like throughout the years, a lot of relationships I had with people literally like did not work out, and not just relationships as romantic, but I mean mostly friendships and stuff did not work out because I wasn't comfortable. I was insecure. I wasn't comfortable with who I was, and it just was bad. So I would tell my 13-year-old self, hey man, like, it's okay. Like, you know, just be cool with whoever you are that day. Be cool with them. You know, don't try and like be someone to please someone else, or to like to not be. Sometimes I would try just to not be a poser, but I still would be like kind of poser. It was stupid. It was a lot. Like I overthought everything. Before everything I did or said, I thought about it to see what kind of image it would get. Like it was so bad. It was trash. So yeah, don't do that. 13-year-old me, you won't know what I'm talking about when I'm telling you this, but if you think about this, internalize it, you'll know what I mean when you get to high school. Don't do that. It'll make it a lot easier.
Second thing for me, maybe the most important, because the third one I can think of is like kind of dumb, but the second one for me would be, so, and this has been a thing for me till present time now, is that I don't like taking pictures. Aww. I don't really like being in pictures. Aww. There's something about like photographs of me that I don't sit well with me. I don't know why. It's not my thing. That doesn't come from like anywhere specific. It's just, I think that's the thing for most people. You just don't like being in pictures. Yeah,
camera shy, unless you like have to be thrown in front of the camera for whatever reason. You just get used to it eventually. Yeah.
But I do like taking pictures of other people. Like I was a historian for a lot of clubs. But a tip to 13-year-old me would be, and this is because I started doing it now and I regret not having done it at the age of 13, would be, there's a lot of moments that you want to commemorate. And at the time, if you don't want to do it with a photograph, if you don't want to place yourself in an uncomfortable situation, just write about it.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because I do that now. Like,
really?
There have been things that I've looked back on where it's like, man, I really wish that I had pictures of that time that I did that thing, or the time that I went on that trip, or that I hung out with my friends or my family. Yeah. And I can't remember specifics. Like, I can't remember, like, I want to remember, like, what were people wearing and what kind of music was playing and what did we eat and, like, how late was I there, and like when it's parties, like was there, there's so many details that have been
lost.
Blurred.
Yeah, they just get lost. Yep.
And now as an adult, like as a 20 whatever year old, now that I write them down, I'll write in those details. I'll write in everything that I want to remember.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I wish I had done that earlier.
Yeah, I wish,
and I don't understand why, because I've always loved writing. I think in my heart of hearts, like if I could do anything for the rest of my life, it'd be to just write.
Just write. Yep.
I don't know why I didn't do it earlier. There's a lot of things. And now going forward, I'm so thankful that I found that now, because it's like, I love the idea of being in my 30s and looking back on my early 20s.
Oh, that's going to be
all
cool.
Through journals.
That's going to be cool. Yeah. Okay.
So just write more. Little 13-year-old dress. I know it's awkward. I know.
Yeah.
There's this weird like stereotype of little girls having diaries, right? And how like, oh, that's so girly and like cheesy. But no, even if you do start off every untrue with your diary, you're gonna love it a few years down the line. No worries.
For sure. That's sweet. Okay. Number 2, I would tell 13-year-old me, and this is just honestly embarrassing as heck to admit. But it's the truth. It would save me so much trouble. 13-year-old me should be less like, dude, just like, girls aren't that deep. It's not that deep. Stop being. And I know it's cliche, it's corny, it's embarrassing.
Don't be a nerd.
But I was like, I got to a point where I was kind of girl crazy, like legit.
Yeah.
Like through middle school.
You and me both, buddy.
Middle school wasn't as bad, although I thought about it a lot more than I should, and it kind of like distracted me a lot.
High school was bad.
High school was kind of bad. Yeah,
I thought you were saying like elementary was bad and middle school wasn't as bad.
No, high school was bad, and it never got to a point where, like, oh man, like your life is, but it definitely was like more like I probably could have focused a bit more on other things. And I'm not just talking about school, but I literally like I feel like there are moments of kind of I guess you would call it childhood that I could have been doing cool boy stuff. But I don't know. I could have been focusing on like building actual hobbies or interests and stuff. But instead I was thinking about like ooh, like she's like just girls for no reason. And it wasn't even like in a like, oh man, I'm trying to smash type of. No, I was like a kid. It wasn't even like that. It was just like legit. I was just infatuated by girls like most of the time. Like most of my memories of being in whatever grade is like, who did I have a crush on, and like did I try and pursue? And it's stupid. It's so like I think back on it now and I'm like, you're trash. Like stop, you're trash. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Like there's more to life. I know it's not a lot more at that age, but there's more to life than girls, bro. So 13-year-old me, if you're listening to this podcast for whatever reason, because our podcast gets so famous that like, some time traveler finds it, listens to it, and like, plays it over the podcasting airwaves through time. 13-year-old me, if you're listening, girls aren't that deep, bro. I promise. It's not that deep. I swear. You will meet. It sounds. I'm not even gonna say that. But let's just say you'll enjoy your relationships a bit better when you're older anyway. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy your relationships a lot
sure.
more when you're older anyway, period. Like whatever happens.
Period.
That's it. Period, point blank. Whatever you think is the pinnacle of like, oh, this is awesome, it's going to be a lot more awesome in like 5 years. Mm-hmm. So just chill.
Yeah. Wow, that was good. If I had to bounce off of that, so 13-year-old me wasn't even a little, well... I was interested in boys, but I wasn't interested in relationships.
Yeah.
I wasn't the type to want a boyfriend.
Right.
Still true to this day.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, well, 13-year-old you and 23-year-old isn't
not much. Dang, a whole different decade. Yeah, not much has changed. But I think my issue was, I used to think that everybody was like that. Like everyone was like just down to have fun and like. Because we were and I felt this way all the way up to high school.
That's the way it should have been, but it wasn't. Like, realistically, it was the opposite. Like, a lot of people were like...
A lot of people, for whatever reason, and that's normal. Now I can look back and I can see that, like, it's normal even when it doesn't make sense, right? Even when you're 17, it's normal to want someone to spend your rest of your life with. Like, that's just what romance is based off of. It's what most people... envision for themselves.
That's the reason half of like really good romance like movies are somehow with high schoolers. And
right.
You're like, you have your whole life in it.
Yeah.
But they're just good.
I guess at the time I just thought like, well, that's stupid. I still think that now, but now I know not to judge people so harshly. I just thought back then like, oh, it's so stupid. Everyone should just understand that like these are temporary. Right. Obviously. Like that was genuinely like, I still feel that way as an adult. Like, as a kid, you don't know yourself well enough to fall in love with someone else.
Logically, you're correct. I can tell you logically, you're correct. And as far as like, if we go back, like as far as middle school, yeah, like I literally only know one couple in the history of anybody I've ever met that's lasted from middle school until and got married. And that's like one of my cousins. She apparently met her like husband in middle school, and which is good for her. Like that's awesome. They got kids, family. They're like one of the happiest couples I know. It's amazing. You know, clearly like there was a plan set in place for you and it just worked out. That's awesome. For the rest of us, that's not very likely. Yeah. But my
thing would be I would just want to tell my 13-year-old self that although those may be your feelings and there's nothing wrong with that because they're yours, recognize that other people have different ones. So and like act accordingly.
You're basically saying like don't be so like judgy or harsh kind of.
Yes. Just to relationships though, because I mean whatever. I think with relationships, when you've even as a kid, when you've opened yourself up to someone intimately,
whatever that means,
whatever
as
that
a
means
kid,
to you as a kid, right? Not it's really easy to feel like you're on the same wavelength, and you always have to recognize they're a whole different person. They have a whole different set of things that they want and things that they expect out of a relationship. And just be mindful of those. I was kind of I still am. I'm terrible in relationships, and that's just something that I have to work on. But as a kid, it was like, just be a little more aware that there's a whole other set of feelings.
Right. It's not just, it's not it's not just about you, and B, like the other person, it's about like they're valid, even if they don't agree with you. Like it's valid. It's like, you know,
it's not like I'm debating someone on like, it's nothing trivial. Right. And if we're in a relationship, I should care about your feelings. Right. Like if I were to have this debate as a 13-year-old with another 13-year-old and we were just like friends debating about what dating should be like, that's something different. But if it's someone I'm dating, and I had, you know, a few relationships here and there as a kid through high school, and I think back and I'm like, wow, those people, they were like a snippet of my relationship history, which means that I was a part of theirs as well. And to think now that they might realize, oh, she was so like one-sided, or she just didn't acknowledge my feelings, it's kind of shitty. And it's like I wish I was able to go back and be like, yo, 13-year-old you, maybe don't be so maybe don't be so shitty.
But then I mean, I don't know, you also could think about it from what you just said though. I mean, that's just part of growing up, you know. They probably needed someone like you to kind of help them, like to help them grow up in a hurry, like, you know? Maybe
don't date anyone until you really understand that. Well,
like, I'm not shitting on your advice. Your advice, what you said to your 13-year-old self is true. I'm saying like don't beat yourself up over it. Like, you know, like like what you just said is you know, maybe whoever you dated back then probably thinks back and is like, Jessica's kind of shitty to me. But like that's good, because you probably, whoever you are, bro, if you're listening for whatever reason, you probably needed that so that, you know, you can grow up and have healthier adult relationships. Because you know, it's weird because it's like you're kids, so you probably don't really know. But if you ever did some real reflecting on it, you could look back and be like, oh, I mean, I know what a healthy relationship doesn't look like. So it helps you get closer to what a healthy one looks like. I think it's pretty good. I mean, you doing your best, you know. You were 13. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but that's when they start, right? Like that's when all the feelings and like you start to imagine what a relationship is supposed to be.
For sure. Yeah.
And if you find yourself in them, it's, you know, clashing. Like,
definitely.
Yeah.
Was that your legit third one, or was that just like a random thought you had based off what I said? That was your legit third one?
No, I had a dumb third one, but I don't know if I want to bring it up.
You can if you want.
Do you have one?
I didn't, but I'm thinking.
One was dumb.
All right, let's hear it.
Ooh.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. My third one was, okay, because we were talking about clothing and stuff, right?
Yeah.
My third one would be, and I guess this isn't.
What are you gonna say? Dress better?
No. It'd be like, kind of, yeah. Not dress better, but like
realistically.
I guess this ties back to my first point, which is like a little bit about learning to like your body, but also I used to think that like I used to have a really weird relationship with clothing.
Okay.
Where it was like, I don't know how to describe it. I think it's just a thing most girls, maybe even boys have too, where it's like you want to dress in things that you feel good in, but also things that look good on you.
Yeah. No,
and
that makes sense.
To
and
this day has been really like a difficult thing to break, because sometimes now I'll go and I'll find something that I like and I'm like, oh, but like it doesn't really suit me, like it doesn't like highlight my waist, or it doesn't and now I'm like, well, but if I like it and I like it and I feel comfortable in it, why not get it? And that stemmed from 13, okay, from when I started buying my clothes at this age. And I remember looking at myself and like, well, that's also has a little bit to do with like, you know what your parents tell you, where it's like, oh honey, it makes you look a little fat, or like, oh, I don't know if this is like the good cut. It makes you look washed out. And even though you liked it, it was like, oh, I guess it kind of does make me look washed out. Yeah. It's just this idea of like self-image and how you see yourself and the things you adorn your body with.
I definitely know what you mean. And it's funny because it's a double-edged sword, because I look back at older pictures of me, probably pre like 21 years old or whatever, right? And most of it is just like cringe. I'm like, ugh, I used to dress so disgusting, right? Yeah. But then it's also like I was super comfortable back then. Like I never wore anything that didn't feel good, feel like I was perfectly, and I'm not saying I was perfectly comfortable with who I was, but like as far as just my clothes, super comfortable. This year alone, I've bought more different clothes and shoes and stuff that either don't fit, or like that fit weird, or like they don't feel good but they do look good, or I think they look good, than ever before. And it's like it's not like I'm learning the lesson you're describing, but grown as fuck, like as an adult for whatever reason. Like it's tough. It
feels like I look back on pictures, if I do the same thing and I look back at pictures from high school, and I think that was a girl that was so uncomfortable with her body. Yeah, she's not even putting on things that she likes. Aww. She's just putting on what she thinks are okay things to wear. Yeah. And I'd rather look back and be embarrassed at the sense of fashion I had, but at least have that sense of style like reflected outwardly. Yeah. And now I feel like when I look back on how I dress now as a whatever, like a 35-year-old, it'll be like, oh, she was but at least she was wearing what she wanted. At least she was repping the colors she thought were cute.
I got you. I don't know. I hope when I'm 35 and I look back on this, I'm gonna be like, you know what? He looks pretty good. I better at least look good when I look back on it, because I don't always feel good. That's for sure. Like I said, I have not always made the best like sizing, clothing decisions for whatever reason. Like I'll be like, man, I can fit.
35-year-old me is gonna be like, stop with the leggings, girl. Buy some pants.
Bitch, we get it. 35.
We get it. They're comfortable.
35-year-old me is gonna be like, dude, why haven't you worn shorts since you were 19? Like any form of shorts for no reason except for swim trunks. Like I've been wearing legit pants, sweat, and I don't regret this. Like I'm fine with it. Yeah. But I just like. I wore a whole lot of cargo shorts all the way up through high school for whatever reason. Like cargo shorts are just a thing, I look back and I'm like, gross. And literally, probably as soon as I went away to college, that went away. I was done with it, and I haven't bought a pair or put on a pair since. I'm just like, nope, not in style, ugly, fugly, nope. Like I'd rather. It's either like you're dressing up kinda, so I'll wear either like dress pants or like nice jeans, or you're comfortable, which means it's like sweats. Or like joggers, and that's it. There's no in between. There's no basketball shorts anymore. No cargo, nothing. Even when I work out, it's in some kind of like workout pants, and it's like,
yeah. I'm also, 13-year-old dresses are cool. They're comfortable. Aww. They're nice.
You were like,
I wasn't about dresses or skirts. Like, I don't want to wear that. Kind of, but it was more of like, my legs are just, because I have really. And this isn't me shading myself or anything, kind of, but my legs, the reason I like working them out is because if I don't, naturally I think my calves are just not proportionate with my thighs. Like they're huge. I have really strong calves. I don't know why. I wish I could give them to a boy with skinny ass calves who wants bigger ones, and I could take the skinny ones, but those are just my legs. Yeah. And I always felt so awkward about it. So yeah, that would be my thing. Would be like, you know what? It's okay. Let those cats breathe. Let those calves breathe, girl. Like
let them breathe.
Put on a skirt. Put on a dress. Dresses are cute. It's okay. Your man shoulders are something you're gonna have to deal with. One day you're gonna like that they're strong, and that's something to deal with later on. But you know, you're good. You're okay. Put on whatever you want.
Okay. For my like third and I guess final one, I've been trying to buy time because it's hard for me to. I know there's a million things, so I'm trying to think of one that I can like concisely put into a point and just stick with it without rambling for another hour. Because man, one of the other issues is so far the 2 points I've had, but in general, like I don't have much of a problem with like 13-year-old me, like middle schoolish me. Like it was just a kid who was having fun. Like I don't have much of a problem. High school is when things started like just going downhill. You know, like it was rough. So I'm trying to think of a really good like something to tell 13-year-old me that'll like help him, impact him from the future. That's also not cliche as heck, because I could be like, oh bro, like get some more hobbies, or like, oh, learn how to type better, like get into video edit, like, you know, right? Yeah. And it's like,
start a YouTube channel as soon, like the second you hear this advice,
YouTube,
bro.
The minute you hear the word YouTube, look into getting the camera and just like go for it, even if it's trash. Like just go for it, bro. Like, because anybody who got in early on and stuck with it, they're rich.
They're rich now.
Rich as fuck.
Something I'd tell both of us. I did know you have 14. 13, 14.
I think so,
yeah. Would be, and this maybe wouldn't apply to us quite yet, but it would just be that happiness isn't a permanent state of mind, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That feels very hard for me to come to terms with, or even think about telling. Like, really, it's hard for me to tell like a 13-year-old that in general, but especially me as a 13-year-old, because like when I was 13, from what I remember, 7th, 8th grade, I was genuinely happy, like very happy. Like there was not a like. It
would have been nice to have heard it though for like those few years in high school, where
for sure, because like I said, the depression started 9th grade for me. As soon as 9th grade hit, it was just so. Yeah, that's a pretty good point. Like just like pre shit hitting the fan, to have heard like, okay, it's normal to not always be happy.
Not normal, but it's like.
Yeah, because technically it's not normal, but it's not.
I don't want to use the word normal. It's not.
It's
okay. It's not wrong.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's not. Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
Like you're gonna be fine. You know.
Yeah. I'm trying to.
Everything is. Where did I get that from? I think maybe John Green or some other like YA author. But like everything but the last thing you'll live through. If that makes any sense. Like. Yeah. Everything but the last thing.
Right. So you'll be fine. It's kind of similar to what doesn't kill you make you stronger.
Yeah, but I hate that one.
Right. No, I know, but it's kind of, and because the idea is that nothing will really kill you except the thing that kills you.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're fine.
Right. I'm trying to think of a good way to articulate that to a 13-year-old me, because that's a really good point. I'm also trying to think if I had any like, I don't know, any hobbies I really want to get into or anything specific like coming up those years, but not really.
I'd want to learn to play the drums so I could be the girl drummer in a band.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I'd be famous by now.
I got into yeah, for sure. You'd be like the girl drummer from Scott Pilgrim.
You don't know her name?
I'm blanking right now for no reason.
Yeah, I'd be her. Or I'd tell myself to like, I don't know, just pursue something early on. Yeah. And be honest about it. Like I you know, like I really liked art early on, but I was like, what am I going to do with that? And it's like, be happy doing it. Like that's enough. You don't have to make it a career, honey. Just like just do it. Enjoy it.
Man, what am I? Yeah, that's true.
What am I going to do with an art degree? It's like, well, don't get it then, but keep on doing the art thing.
You know what I would tell 13-year-old me? And it's a weird thing to tell a 13-year-old, and it probably won't come into like, it won't come into play until like who knows how old. But one thing I realized about myself recently is, and it's kind of weird to like say or admit, because I wasn't that way back then. I don't know at what point it turned, but I'm not the most friendly person, and it's weird. Like it sounds weird, but it's true. Like I was thinking about it today when I was around like my coworkers and stuff, and I was just like today was the first day with my new coworkers when I was like, oh, and like I kind of opened up and started talking to a few people, because literally all last week, all I did was go in there and just mug everybody. Like I didn't have anything to say to anybody, not even the teachers, the like our boss, nothing. I just looked at everyone, just was like, and that's kind of how I always am starting off at jobs or just in any kind of new-ish like unfamiliar situation. Like if I don't know you already, if we're not like already friends or whatever, I can be kind of like just unfriendly.
That's crazy though, because you're friendlier than I am.
To people I know, but like
no, remember when we took classes together?
I don't remember talking to a lot of people.
I remember you being nice to other people, and it was like, who the hell do you think you are talking to this person sitting next to you?
And that's the thing. I've never been like when I say I'm not friendly, I don't mean like I'm mean or I'm like fuck you. Like no, but I'm always cordial. But that's kind of how I think of it in my head. It's cordial. Like I wasn't, and eventually over time, I kind of do eventually like open up. If I'm around someone long enough in a class, at work, whatever, I open up and eventually I kind of become friends. But like, there's a lot of moments where I end up, and it's stupid because it feeds into the idea of like, man, like sometimes when I get kind of, really, really upset, I'm like, man, I'm fucking alone. But it's like, sometimes it's your fault you're alone. And I think it's a weird thing. Like I said, I probably won't grasp the idea at 13. I won't, because it didn't really apply to me back then. But honestly, the thing I would tell past me about future me is like, sometimes you're alone and it's your fault, bro. Like you need to reevaluate, not just when it comes to like people you meet, but even like friendships and relationships you have. There's a lot of friendships and relationships that I just let go by the wayside, and they are probably minimum 80% my fault, like completely like it's me. Like there's a couple different times I can think of when somebody was like into me and we were just hanging, not into me, but like, they were into me. We're having fun. We were hanging out. It was a good time. And I just out of nowhere kind of flip-flopped and was like, I don't like them, and just stopped. And I guess there's not anything inherently wrong with not liking someone, but I need to do a better job of realizing earlier. Yeah. So instead of like leading this person on and thinking like they found a really good friend or like a cool whatever, just early on be like, you know what? Like, you're not my cup of tea, bro. And the earliest memories of it got worse as I got older, but the earliest memories of me doing that was probably like 9th grade, like 9th, 10th grade. Like I would make friends with like there were some weird kids in our class, I remember. And I remember thinking like, oh, nobody, like, I'll go talk to them, whatever. Yeah. But then realizing like, they're not really for me either. But like, and then I felt like I was stuck, and it was a whole thing. So basically the moral of the story is, for me, 13-year-old me, sometimes you're going to feel alone, and sometimes it's your fault, bro. Like if you don't want to feel so alone, actually be social, talk to people, make friends. Yeah. Or maybe it's completely on me. And also like, be careful with like your relationships and friendships, like be better about it. Don't. Right. It goes hand in hand, because there's the new people aspect to where sometimes I literally, like, I'm the type of person that'll go somewhere, close myself off, like refuse to talk to everybody, watch everybody talk to each other around me, refuse to talk to anybody, and then wonder why I'm like, man, why nobody wants to talk to me? Mm-hmm. But you're sitting there with this like mean ass like mug on your face, like of course nobody wants to talk to you. That literally happens sometimes when I'm just alone. Not so much when I have at least one or two friends there, so you never would have seen it, but that happens when I'm completely alone somewhere in a new environment. Then the other side, when you do meet people and make friends, like really, like I guess take it slow. There's a lot of times where I just jump in head first, like this me, I'm gonna be friends with this person forever. They're my new best, and then it just literally like a couple weeks later, I'm like, oh, they're so fucking annoying. And it's like, if you would have took it a little slower, got to know them a little better, it wouldn't have, so just, 13-year-old me, be more careful with your friendships, relationships. If you're alone half the time, it's probably because it's your fault. Sorry, that's just the truth. Hard pill to swallow. You probably won't swallow it at 13, but it's the truth. Yeah. That's just how that goes. Yeah. For me anyway. Not for everybody, right? Some people.
Well, it's because you're a little bit of an extrovert.
It's weird. Like I'm kind of an extrovert, and people who know me will think of me that way. But I have so many bad introvert tendencies. Yeah. Like,
but I think because you're an extrovert, you miss that, like, not having that.
Yeah, and I guess that's what it really comes down to, is like,
it's like I don't know how to, when you're around friends than when I'm alone.
Yeah. And I don't really, and yeah, that's true. I didn't really get good at like enjoying any kind of alone time or being alone until I was like probably in college, And even now, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's like lately, normally I'm decent and I'm getting better at being alone. Like whatever, I just hang out myself, right? But lately it's been, I guess just like, because I've been feeling more sad. It's like, nah, dude, I'm not trying to sit alone, But sometimes you just need that. You can't force, especially when you're not doing okay, you can't force like yourself to be around friends and stuff, especially if you're not doing okay, because you're whatever you're going through can rub off on them, and like it's just not a good. It's not a good thing. So sometimes you just gotta sit and be alone. That's another thing I wish I kind of would have learned earlier, how to be alone and be okay with it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was an only child, so I learned that like real quick, right out the fucking womb. I was like, oh, I'm alone forever now. Okay, cool.
Let me ask you, I know you aren't super, and this is kind of random off topic. I know, but I've had this like talk with a couple different people, probably with you too, also before, about like when it comes to kids. And I know you're like like not super into the idea of having kids or whatever right now, but you being an only child, you had the opposite like childhood experience as me, growing up with two other siblings, right? There's people who grew up with way more than me, but I would say I had the average, like, you know, you grow up with siblings, right? Do you think it's better to raise your kid solo or like or with, you know, 2, 3, whatever amount of kids? Like can you speak on any actual like that loneliness or any like negative effects of like having one kid? Because I've had this talk a couple times with friends recently, because I'm kind of on the boat of like one kid right now, maybe two maybe, and that's a big maybe, but I'm kind of leaning more towards one. Where do you sit on it, being an only child?
I think there's a lot of things that are like unique to the experiences of an only child that are really hard to connect to with other people, like once you're an adult. Like now, like looking back on stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, it was kind of weird that like I didn't, there's certain things that you don't, as a child, you don't recognize as strange.
Yeah, because you're
I don't know how to describe them,
you
but
don't know.
yeah, I can see a lot of negatives, like a lot of negatives, but then a lot of negatives as a child. Now as an adult, I see that there are more positives where it's like,
cool. Okay.
Now I'm an adult, right? And it's just me and it's my parents. And I guess there's always going to be negatives and positives, but now it's both. Like,
there's negatives and positives to having more than one kid too. Like
now the good things are a lot more evident, where it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, well, at the time it felt like overwhelming attention from two people, like two adults in my life who had no one else to like focus on, or
that's true.
And that sucked when I was a kid. And now as an adult, it's like, well, I can't even imagine how terrible I would have turned out had I not had that overwhelming attention, because I had some terrible tendencies as a kid. And to think like, what if there was another kid and my parents just never noticed? Like what would have become of me? Like, what would have happened?
That's a side effect of having more than one kid, is you literally can't give 100% of you to all of your kids at once. Like, it's just not possible.
Yeah.
And a lot of things go by the wayside when you have to have, you know, like more than one mouth to feed, essentially. Like some of the things you might not notice everything, which sucks. Like I'm sure it's super easy to notice when not even super easy, it's always hard, but I'm sure it's easier to notice when your child maybe shows early signs of depression or anxiety, whatever, if it's just them. But if it's like a couple of them, like,
well, that's tricky, because
that's tricky anyway. Yeah, but I feel like it's harder with multiple siblings than just one, I would think.
I feel like there's certain things that if a parent isn't knowledgeable about, they're not going to notice.
They're not going to know anyway. Well, I'm not even talking about like anybody specifically. I'm talking more general, like speaking. Like Like, I'm thinking about if I was a parent, right? Because by the time I'm a parent, hopefully I'm a bit more, I'm literally studying in the mental health field. So, like, hopefully I'm a little more knowledgeable about it. But at the same time, if I just got one kid, I'll probably be able to notice, like, you know, I'll know what.
I feel like it's like I feel like my parents being, like, from another country and not knowing a lot about the public education system here. Yeah. There was just so many things to them that there's no way they could have picked up on them, because they've never had experience with it.
For sure.
And that has nothing to do with whether I had a brother or a sister, if I was still an only child. So
you think more of those were issues than like whether you had...
Yeah, it was more of like my parents didn't know what bullying was. Like, they didn't understand that, like...
Bullying?
Yeah, bullying.
Oh.
Like, they just didn't get that. They were like,
really?
How? Like, how's that a thing? Like, why would...
That's like a thing that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So there's no way they could have ever recognized signs. Or like my parents never went to like a university. So how would they ever recognize like stress induced by like not being able to pick a college, or not being sure of like financial aid issues?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Stuff like that.
If they didn't have to do it.
I understand that they were giving me all of their attention, but obviously they just didn't know.
Yeah.
And that extends to stuff like mental illness. Like, there's no way they could have ever known.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
They don't know anything about that. And that's nothing. That's not on them at all.
That's not indictment against them or anybody who's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tricky. It's weird. I don't know. It's just so circumstantial because
Right.
I was an only child, but I grew up with a lot of my cousins.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I was the opposite. Like I grew up with siblings, and because of family circumstances here and there, we started off growing up kind of close to our cousins, but we got older and like it definitely just the gap grew, and like now I don't even like talk to them like at all.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't, and I mean part of it is because I have barely any cousins even near my age. Like a lot of them are a bit younger, but still, like I don't even feel that comfortable just like talking to them because it's like, and sometimes I want to because they're in that teenager years where it's like. I probably could have some like definitely helpful advice like for them, but it's just not comfortable. I don't talk to them like that.
Yeah, no, for me, I mean, it was similar. Like I was really close to them when I was younger, when I think you're supposed to have like, when most kids would develop with their siblings, like those natural, like, oh, this is how you interact with children. And so when you go to school, it's not weird.
Yeah.
So you had your siblings. I had my cousins to learn all of those things, but I don't know. I feel like I would have been fine, but there's no way of knowing. There's
literally
no way of knowing.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, if you're a good parent, like if you just have it in you to be a good parent, I think you'll be a good parent regardless. Yeah. No matter how many kids you have. But there's just something I don't know, something I've been thinking about, and it's just like, because I actually don't meet. You'd be surprised. I don't meet a lot of people at all who are into only having like one kid. Like most people who want kids,
I think it has more to do with
give me 2, give me 3, give me 5.
It has more to do with just the type of parent. Like, I think a good parent would be good to one kid as well as they would be to 2, if that makes any sense. And a shitty parent would be terrible with one kid just as much as they would be with 2.
2, 3, yeah, for sure. I want one, I think, just because, I mean, it sucks to say, but like,
in this economy,
financial burden. And I mean, as shitty as that sounds, it's just truth, because it's like, oh, I mean, I could have 3 kids, kind of close age to each other, because I'm not trying to be raising kids till I'm like 80. Like, no, forget that. If I have any multiple kids, they're gonna be close to each other.
Yeah.
So I could be raising like a couple of kids within like a few years and just do it, and all of them live like moderate to okay lives, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I have the money for what they want, sometimes I don't. Whatever. Or I could have 1, maybe 2, leave it alone, and always have the money to like be able to help them if I want to, right? I'm not saying I'll spoil them, like, oh, every time they ask for money they get it. Right. But I mean, like, I always want to have the option. I don't want to have like multiple kids and then be like, sorry, like by the time the third one rolls around, it's like, sorry bro, like you can't go on your middle school band field trip because I don't have the money and I'm paying for your older brother's like college right now. Like I just can't do it.
Right.
Like that'll suck. I want to give however many kids I have a better like childhood. Mine wasn't terrible, but like you always want better, so I want to give them a better childhood than I have, and I don't want literally like the number of kids in my financial situation to get in the way of that. Like no, that's stupid.
I do think it's crazy when people have like very specific, like, oh, I definitely want to have 3 and I want to have them like 1 year apart each, and because it's like, I
think a lot of that is dealing with how they grew up though. Like the few people I've met who have a specific number, not just like 1 or 2, but like a specific, like I want 4 exactly, or I want 5 exactly, or however many, is because they wanted, they probably had they got their idea of how a family is supposed to be from their family, and they just want to replicate that because they feel like like, oh, I grew up like no matter what situation it was, they're happy with how they grew up and they feel like it was well, and they just want to recreate that better, but still similar to their kids, which makes sense. I mean, I get it. Whatever.
I don't know. It's a lot. Kids are a lot.
No, sorry.
I don't really like them, so I'll probably sit that one out.
For sure.
Like kids in general.
Yeah, I got you. Will you like at least hang out with my kids when they're a little older? At least, come on. Like I want to show my kids my
how
cool
Samantha
friends.
Feels about everyone's kids on the show. I feel like that's gonna be me. Like,
I'm not.
Why'd you bring the kid?
Well, okay, it's one of those, like, I'm not saying you gotta babysit for like a whole weekend or anything. I'm not making you a nanny or a babysitter or nothing. I just want my kid to. I want a little bit of whatever cool friends I have to rub off on them a little bit,
So I realized I don't like kids. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I don't like babies. I think they're kind of gross looking. And I don't see an appeal to that age. Like, Well, 8 and under, I don't understand. I don't get why anyone would want that.
That's kind of what I don't mean like kid. I guess I shouldn't say kids. I meant more like closer to teenage, like when they're impressionable.
That's what I was gonna say.
When they're impressionable, but you still can talk to them like an adult, right? Like
one of our friends has a little sister who's up like in her like 12, 13. Like she just started at Shotwell at middle school. So when I look at her, like earlier than that, I was like, all right, she's cool. Like I'll show up for her birthday parties. All right. Yeah. And now it's like, all right, little bitch, like let's talk. Like now we can actual vibe. Yeah, I'm down for that. I feel like once I can start talking to them like people.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. And hopefully, I mean, I don't know. I've always been so bad at like baby talk or kid talk that I feel like my kids are just gonna have to adjust to being talked to like people from the moment like they out the womb. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna do the like, oh, like I'm gonna be like, hey dude, like what's up? From the moment they're like,
I can fake it, but
I can't even fake it. I'm so bad at it. Which is why
I've been to one too many like birthday parties, baby showers where there's babies and you got to be like, oh my god, like how old is she?
No, sometimes kids look at me weird because I'm like, hey, like what's up? Like what do you like to, just talk to them like regular people, and they're just like, sometimes they're not. You could tell they're not used to it, so they just look at me like, what? Or they try and answer my questions or whatever I'm saying. And they're just like, okay, anyway, I'm gonna go do something else. You're weird, and I'm like, but that's gonna be my kids though. They're gonna have to know how to like, because I don't do it. I just don't. I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, that was a tangent I didn't foresee.
Sorry, kind of just came out. I just you brought it. I forgot what something came up, and I just thought about kids, and I was like, oh, you brought up being an only child, and I was like, I gotta ask now. And
I brought up being an only child.
You said something about like being an only child or something.
Oh, introverted. Yeah. Being an only child, you kind of.
And I had to jump on the opportunity because I've been thinking about it a lot lately. For no reason. I don't even have a partner. Why would I even be thinking about kids? But that's where my head's been.
All right. Well, this was episode number 14.
15.
15.
15. Yeah, 15. Yeah, the 15, big deal. 15. Yeah, 15. The big 15 quinceañera dresses.
Mm-hmm. Episode number 15. Sorry I went a little long.
I'm not. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. It was a good time. I'm not sorry.
Okay. Well. We'll be back next week.
Yeah, don't forget. You're gonna post the picture. We're gonna post the picture.
Have
on
you ever
Instagram.
Seen this man? Let us know if you have. That'd be great.
It'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be a cool
thing. What if it triggers something in between, like in the minds of some of our audience people? Only and they're like, "Fuck, I have seen the dude."
Probably.
And yes, he was Jesus.
Absolutely. That's God. Like for sure, it's him.
He's really ugly. But what if he's ripped? Like no one's drawn his body. What if he's like jacked? Those Jesus abs.
I always imagine God in a muscular fashion. Like if he has to take for sure. Like you. Yeah, why would he? I mean, I guess he could choose whatever, but it's like, no, dude, he's probably ripped.
Well, you know how I always thought about it? He's kind of like a little emaciated, right? Mm-hmm. And the no shade on my skinny boys out there, but skinny guys, like the tiniest bit of effort and they have abs.
Yeah, literally. So
that's how
hard.
I always picture Jesus. Like, oh, he's not really buff, but like he's just a skinny dude who has a tiny bit of.
Like he just had a little time.
That's no shade though, because I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get to that little skinny boy, like
little skinny boy frame.
At least my tummy, at least my abs. I'm trying to get those Jesus abs.
I was like, you just want to look like a little skinny boy? Like,
no,
I guess okay.
Just from like under the boob to like above the hip. Just
that little portion. Skinny boy.
Yeah, I want to be a skinny boy there. All right, that was it for this episode, guys.
Yep, we are on. Remember, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at dsdegrees. I've been posting a bit more frequently, at least weekly, sometimes bi-weekly. So follow us there. I'm a little more active on Instagram just because I'm not super into Twitter yet, but I'm figuring it out. I'm learning.
Yeah.
So, but Instagram, Twitter at dsdegrees. You can listen to our show every Monday or Tuesday, whichever we get it out on. Check Monday night, I always say, but if not, check Tuesday night on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes at
D's Don't Get Degrees.
D's Don't Get Degrees. Just search our name. Yep, you will find us. No problem. This is Dominic.
And this is Jessica.
We are signing out for the week. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.